Hi, my country is Azerbaijan, and so here's its flag. And here's a little video I found, just some facts about it, just so you can get to know it. So here it is. I'll talk about that later. It's called the Land of Fire. It's actually very interesting. It's one of the landmarks in Azerbaijan. Okay, so that's that. And then here is the national anthem, and there's actually English subtitles or lyrics on in the video. So here is the national anthem. Okay, so that was the national anthem. And so it's actually located in southwestern Asia, which borders the Caspian Sea and this mountain range. It's surrounded by Iran and Russia and a small portion of Europe, which is actually Georgia. So it's actually very west. So yeah, so here you can see here. And so it's actually very small. It's a little bit smaller than Maine, which is also about 3/4 the size of Pennsylvania. And so right here on this picture, you can see that this is the United States, and so this is Azerbaijan over it. So you can really see how tiny it is. And so Azerbaijan is actually widely known for its gas and oil exports, and this gas is mainly petroleum. It actually makes up 90% of its total exports, which is insane. And so its imports are actually gold, cars, iron pipes, petroleum gas, and gas turbines. And so besides that, it's also known for being called the Land of Fire, which we saw earlier in the video, because there's this mountain and natural gases seep through the earth and it causes fire that's actually been alight for at least 65 years. And so because of its many different ranges, there's many different biomes, because they're on the coast, it's the lowland desert ecoregion, and by the mountain range, it's like a temperate broadleaf forest, and then in the center, it's very flat and kind of grasslandy, like deserty, and so that's its biome. And so because of this, there's actually a really high biodiversity, which is kind of surprising, even though it's it's dry climate and everything. And so here is the population pyramid for 2020. Right here you can see this big population boom in this 25 to 30-year-old range. And you can kind of see that there's more males than females. However, whenever they get older, there's more females than males. That's kind of expected. Right here is the 2050 population pyramid prediction, and so you can kind of see that box shape, which is getting you into the stage 4 demographic transition model, because the population is kind of constant. It's not increasing or decreasing. So right here is the 1950 fertility rates, which is around 5, and today in 2020 it's 2. And so you can kind of tell that there's been that decrease, which I said right here. The population from 1950, it increased all the way up until 1963 to 6, and that's where you can see that big boom. And then after that, it decreased, and so all the way to 2020, to all the way to 2. And so that growth rate right now in 2020 is negative 0.87, and so that's going to give you that population pyramid, that weird shape where it's in that stage 3, then soon will be stage 4. And so yeah, here you can see it. So right now we're in the stage 3 because the birth rate is falling, and the death rate is kind of staying constant or it fell in stage 2, but now it's getting that constant rate because of medical technology that's been introduced and everything. And because of this negative growth rate, you'll see that it's going to get to that stage 4 that you would see in this prediction right here, that box shape, because it kind of levels out. And so right here, the population is around 10 million, and which is crazy for that small of space. Imagine 10 million people being in somewhere smaller than Maine. And so it's actually very densely populated because of that. And a main region that's very densely populated is this peninsula that's on the coast. And so right here you can kind of see there's 55% urban populations and 44% rural, but it's still very densely populated. And so my future prediction and some struggles that will come down the road is whenever you see places kind of like China that get to that stage 4, there's going to be a large amount of older population and a small young population, which will cause issues like in the workforce, because there's going to be a lot of older people working that are going to have to work longer because there's not enough people to take their place, you know? And so that's something that I predict that will happen. And you kind of see that trend where people are starting to have less amount of kids, you know, because they are better educated and everything. And so I think that those are some issues that will arise. And so here's my Jamboard. And so my question is, what is your prediction for Azerbaijan's future population? You know, I already gave you mine, but that could be totally wrong. You know, there could be a huge population boom. Yeah, so I think that's all I have for you today.